Good afternoon, and welcome to NATCO Network's 18-day campaign to end violence against women and children podcast. In this empowering series, we aim to shed light on the issue of violence and advocate for a safer world. Join us as we listen to an expert as he discusses about case studies, explore strategies, and raise awareness. Together, let's stand against violence, support survivors, and create a world where women and children can thrive free from fear. Tune in and be part of this change. This is Wia Nangpi, and this is day 2.
Important disclaimer. This podcast may contain content, language, and discussions that could be unsuitable for certain audiences. Listener discretion is advised. The views and opinions expressed by the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the podcast platform. Parental guidance is recommended. Additionally, please be aware that this episode includes discussions about violence against women. A trigger warning is issued, and we encourage sensitive listeners to exercise caution. Thank you for understanding.
Okay, so nabanggit natin kanina yung public spaces ay kasali rin pala sa public utility vehicles, no? So, ang pinaka-common natin are the land transportation vehicles, kaya itong ating PUV drivers and operators ay maaari ding maging perpetrator or maging liable dito sa ating Republic Act 11313. Meron daw additional penalties kung yung ating perpetrator is a PUV driver or operator. First is the cancellation of the driver's license, no, ng driver by the Land Transportation Office. Suspension or revocation ng prangkisa nitong ating public utility vehicle by the LTFRB. At sinabi sa batas ay pwedeng yung LTO or yung LTFRB or kahit yung korte pwedeng mag-implement dito sa mga penalties na to. So, ano yung qualification dito sa batas, qualifying the PUV drivers and operators? So, yung mga ating public transport or common carrier, yan po ating legal term, no? Yung common carriers, duly registered with the LTO, Land Transportation Office, and granted a franchise by the LTFRB. Kasali dito yung mga school service, yung mga public water transport utilities. So meron ho tayong mga ferry boats, yung ating mga water taxi, no, yung mga ferries, yung mga vapor, no, including yung mga sa air. So kasali na pala yung dito sa mga airlines. So ito kung sa water, yung marina, yung water transport natin, Maritime Industry Authority, or for the air, yung ating Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines or yung CAAP or yung Civil Aeronautics Board. Next, please. So ngayon, ano ba ang mga roles ng ating mga local government units, no, in implementing this act? So dito, number 1, dapat daw silang magpasa or pass an ordinance to localize the law within 60 days from its effectivity. So maganda siguro magtanong sa inyong mga sangguniang bayan, sangguniang lungsod, sangguniang panlalawigan, kung meron na bang napasa yung ating sanggunian ng local ordinance implementing or localizing RA 11313. Number 2, publication. So nakasanayan natin publication, newspaper, but ngayon pwede na rin through other means, no? So dapat ipopost nila doon siguro sa kanilang city hall, sa mga public markets, no? But itong mga information, education, and communication materials which may be in their respective languages. So kung halimbawa nasa Luzon, Tagalog or Filipino, sa Visayas, Visayan or Cebuano, then sa Mindanao, no, yung Dabawenyo or any other local dialects. Institutionalization, number 3. So dapat daw mag-provide ng measures ang ating LGU to prevent gender-based sexual harassment in educational institutions such as information campaigns and anti-sexual harassment seminars. So we know that the DepEd right now and the Commission on Higher Education have these programs. So hopefully, ma-emphasize din nila itong mga, ano na itong mga acts na ito, is it really covered by RA 11313? And of course, I think they also have their own school or administrative sanctions para ho doon sa ating mga violators or perpetrators, and of course, counseling din sa ating mga victims, no, or ating complainants. Prevention. May kasabihan tayo na prevention is better than cure, no? So, mas maganda daw, i-discourage natin ang gender-based sexual harassment and impose fines on acts of gender-based sexual harassment as defined in the law. GBSH hotline, okay? Sa Davao, meron kami ditong 911 at sa iba't ibang lugar, meron din naman tayong ibang hotlines for the police. So, dapat meron din daw anti-sexual harassment hotline. Kung may mga tao, especially trained naman kung dapat women, dapat dito sinabi na knowledgeable sila sa gender-based sexual harassment and the forms of assistance, anong pwedeng mabigay ng ating mga LGU. Siguro kung may emergency, pwedeng mag-respond agad, or kung afterwards na kailangan ng counseling or maybe other financial support or assistance, mabibigay din ng ating local government units. And of course, coordinate with the DILG or Department of Interior and Local Government in implementing the law. Kasi alam lang natin, ang ating mga LGUs ay under sa DILG. Ano pa bang ibang roles nila? Number 7 is the referral system. Establish a referral system for the complaints of gender-based sexual harassment in streets and public spaces. No? This may form part of an existing referral system for complainants or other forms of gender-based violence. So alam mo natin, yung ating mga kapulisan at ating mga traffic enforcers ay pwedeng umaresto or pwedeng mag-receive ng complaints, at hindi naman sila lahat ay trained sa batas. So dapat meron din silang mapapasahan ng mga kanilang inaresto or bigyan ng due process yung mga perpetrators, maring sa police station or doon sa prosecutor's office or any other government office, na para bigyan din ng due process ang mga perpetrators. And number 8 is training. So provide training on the law for the punong barangay and members of the lupong tagapamayapa in cases covered by the Katarungan Pambarangay System. So pati yung sa traffic enforcers doon sa kanya-kanyang jurisdiction, and adopt training modules for concerned LGU personnel down to the barangay level. So binigyan pong emphasis ang ating barangay level na mga leaders and support staff na dapat train daw sila dito sa paano itong pag-implement ng RA 11313. So, yung ASH, yung nabanggit natin kanina, Anti-Sexual Harassment Desk. So, set up anti-sexual harassment desk in all barangays, cities, and municipal halls, preferably staffed by a woman. And the VOW desk may also serve as the ASH desk in the same shall be strengthened following the guidelines to be set by the DILG. And ito yung napag-usapan namin kanina ni Ms. Wia, no? Yung mga records, dapat ito ay merong isang mekanismo na ma-handle and document itong mga complaints para malaman natin kung first-time offenders, second-time offenders ba ito, or verbal lang ba ito, or demonstrated, or any other acts. Sana magkaroon na rin ng ganun na database. So saan ba ngayon? Siguro kung tayo ay isang biktima ng gender-based sexual harassment, nandito tayo sa mga kalye, sa mga kalsada, and other public spaces, kanino at saan tayong humingi ng tulong? Eto, so we have a table here. Where can victims of gender-based sexual harassment in street and public spaces seek assistance? So in all cases, nandito sa public space natin, public place, pwede tayo sa local government unit, dito sa kanilang ASH hotline. Okay? Nearest police precinct, yung ating Women's and Children's Protections Desk. Itong ating mga DSWD or CSSWDO, Social Welfare and Development Office. Public Attorney's Office, yung PAO. And dapat daw dito is qualified for legal assistance yung ating mga victims. Kapag nasa streets or roads or alleys and parks, local traffic enforcer, kapag nakasakay ho tayo sa PUV at meron hong driver operator na nag-commit ng violation ng RA 11313, yung mga local traffic enforcer or LTO, LTFRB. Kapag malapit tayo sa munisipyo, sa city hall, provincial hall, or barangay hall, dito tayo sa ASH desk officer ng nabanggit na LGU. At nandyan naman ho tayo sa malls, bars, or public establishments, yung ASH officer designated by operator of establishment, example, security guards. Siguro yung dapat yung mga bouncer din ay ititrain na rin paano mag-handle nito mga complaints ng GBSH kasi sila naman ay pwede rin maging force multiplier or mag-assist sa mga police or kahit mga security guards. Okay. Ito magandang topic, no? Kanina lahat ang pinag-usapan natin more on the physical world. Ngayon, dito naman tayo sa virtual or online space. Ito ay gumagamit ng ICT or yung Information and Communications Technology in terrorizing and intimidating victims through, threats, physical, psychological, and emotional, unwanted sexual, misogynistic, transphobic, homophobic, and sexist remarks and comments online, whether publicly or direct and private messages. Ang common lang talaga natin dito na denominator is that what is prohibited or illegal or immoral in the real world is also prohibited, illegal, and immoral and punishable online dahil dito sa batas na to. No? And yun, kapag nabanggit nga natin kanina, patong-patong maari yung mga ibang kaso, hindi lang Republic Act 11313, maybe yung anti-cyber law or cyber threats, o ito, yung violation of Data Privacy Act, nag-invade tayo ng victims' privacy through cyber stalking and incessant messaging. Ito, uploading and sharing without the consent of the victim any form of media that contains photos, voice, or video with sexual content. Any unauthorized recording and sharing of any of the victim's photos, videos, or online information. Ito, nag-impersonate tayo ng identity ng victims online or posting lies about victims to harm their reputation. So, maaaring patong-patong na, dadagdagan tayo dito ng cyber libel, no? Using of alias. Ito, filing false abuse reports to online platforms to silence victims. No? So, merong sakuna nangyari, let's say earthquake or yung nahulog daw yung mga ibang mga equipment galing sa high-rise building. Tapos nagpalabas ng fake video na tinamaan ng mga debris at namatay. Kung sa actuality naman pala, wala namang biktima. May nasira lang na building pero walang namatay doon. Nahulugan ng mga debris galing sa building na yon. Okay, next please. Cyber stalking. So, next please, let's see what cyber stalking is. So how is it committed? Sabi dito sa batas, cyber stalking is a form of stalking that is committed through an electronic medium which online communication takes place. To constitute an offense, the conduct must be manifested through the repeated use of electronic communications in stalking. Okay, so, hindi ito one time, no? So, hindi ito one time, big time. So, maaari talaga ito siyang, yung paulit-ulit. It could be, yung sabi kanina, through public, let's say, mga posts or sharing, or private, mga direct messages or personal messages or secret conversations, at na you are already trying to monitor, you're trying to maybe scare or nag-ano ka ng psychological violence na rin doon sa ating in-stalk. So, ang sabi rin dito sa batas, kapag online profile is publicly accessible, hindi naman siya offense. Let's say siguro yung mga ating Facebook pages or yung mga ating mga favorite natin na mga online shopping apps and other hindi yan siya stalking kasi sige ka pa ulit-ulit, sige ka tanong-tanong dyan. Of course, siguro kapag pinipersonal mo ng tao, ginagamit mo yon, hindi siya mahuhulog sa Republic Act 11313, pero maaari siyang mahuhulog na cyber libel or any other online based online yung violation. So, may kaibahan ba yung penalties doon sa real world at dito sa ating online gender-based sexual harassment? Yes. Kung kanina parang ilang days lang yun, di ba? At ilang thousands or hundreds. Dito, prison correctional in its medium period, which is actually 6 months and 1 day to 2 years and 4 months, no? Or a fine of not less than 100,000 pesos but not more than 500,000 pesos or both at the discretion of the court. So hindi lang kulong, hindi lang multa, maximum na 500,000 pesos and 2 years and 4 months ang pwedeng harapin ng ating mahatulan na nagkasala dito sa Republic Act 11313. So ang sabi nga dito, if the perpetrator is a juridical person, its license or franchise shall be automatically deemed revoked. Sino ba si juridical person? So natural persons are just like you and me who have flesh and blood. Ang magandang ehemplo, yung ating primary cooperatives. Ang ating mga membro ay natural persons. Yung ating kooperatiba ay isang juridical person na kasi registered po siya sa Cooperative Development Authority or CDA, katulad din ng mga corporations na registered sa Securities and Exchange Commission at iba pang mga kumpanya, ang kanila daw mga license or franchise may be revoked. So sa atin, yung ating certificate of compliance sa Securities and Exchange Commission, yung certificate of registration, and yung mga officers and yung mga editor or reporter, yung station manager, editor and broadcaster in case of broadcast media ay mapapatawan ng mga ganitong penalties. At sinabi dito, kapag alien or foreigner ang nag-commit ng gender-based online sexual harassment, sila ay i-deport pagkatapos nilang magsilbi sa imprisonment at magbabayad ng kanilang fine or penalty. Saan naman tayo pwedeng dumulog na mga ahensya kapag tayo naging biktima ng online gender-based sexual harassment? So yung ating suki, si NBI, nandito. National Bureau of Investigation Cybercrime Division. Meron din sa Philippine National Police, yung tinatawag nila ACG or Anti-Cybercrime Group. At dyan sa capital, dito sa Maynila, meron ding DOJ Office of Cybercrime. So ano ba mga practical tips na pwede natin gawin para ma-save natin yung mga digital evidence tsaka yung pag-report natin online? Yung take note ng ating URL, yung Uniform Resource Locator or the web address of the website or social media account of the perpetrator. So if we go to a browser, let's say Chrome or Firefox or Edge, no? Diba kapag nagkiklik tayo sa browser na yon at meron doong lumalabas sa pinakataas yung facebook.com or www.abc.com, yun yung kanyang URL, no? Or siguro makikita nyo rin yung social media account. So yun ang kailangan ninyong take note, no? Make a printout of the content being complained of by opening the browser or laptop or going to the pertinent account and page and print the said web page, no? Siguro sa ating mga younger generation, madali na lang ito sa inyo. But yung sa ating mga more mature na listeners and viewers, you have to ask assistance from our techie na mga kamag-anak or mga friends dyan. Of course, we have to contact authorities like yung ating NBI, yung sabi nating PNP's Anti-Cybercrime Group. Nandyan po yung kanilang mga websites. We have to update lang siguro sa kanya-kanyang lugar or through their other complaint action centers. Ayan. So, thank you for being patient and attentive. If you have some questions, you could ask us online during live or you could also ask us during the replay and in our succeeding episodes of our 18-day campaign to end violence against women. Thank you and good day to all.